We're paying attention. You can't handle it. It's just, I've never seen a league that is more volatile and dramatic in these wild emotional mood swings. You got players picking on Caitlin Clark, who got you private travel. You should appreciate that. You got players now and coaches pushing back on Sophie Cunningham. Nobody likes the officials. They're probably right about that. You got a Seattle Storm owner screaming at fans. It's like, take a deep breath. You look petty and juvenile and small. I'm not against occasional outrage. But you see these people on.
Sophie Cunningham recently criticized WNBA reporters for avoiding basketball talk in favor of controversy, and the criticism has merit. The league's on-court quality has never been higher, yet coverage often feels like a reality show rather than sports journalism. Some outrage is understandable. NFL Spygate, the Astros cheating scandal, NBA gambling issues all warranted real anger. But in the WNBA, some uproar erupts nearly every week.
Occasional outrage. But you see these people on the internet. You see these people on social media platforms. They're outraged 9 times a day. I'm outraged about once a year. You know, that's about it. If you're an adult, you're outraged about once a year, maybe twice. And when I look at the WNBA, it's like, and Sophie Cunningham she's got a Bill Laimbeer quality. She got a little bit of Rodman. She likes stirring it up. But, I mean, it's just this league. Where's the unification? Where's the leadership?
After decades craving attention, the league now seems uneasy handling it. Players have criticized Caitlin Clark, despite benefiting from perks her popularity helped bring. Athletes have clapped back at Cunningham. Officials draw universal complaints.
You've never made more money. You got a new CBA. You're playing in great arenas. You got private travel. The television ratings are growing. The quality of play is great. You're making more money. Come on. I mean, have you ever known anybody like that? Constant drama. Do you respect them? You may pay attention to them. You may be, you've been warned about them, but you don't really respect them. It's like, ladies, it's a great league. Here's Sophie Cunningham talking about the WNBA media.
A Seattle Storm executive shouted at fans, which read as petty rather than composed. None of this means outrage is never justified, but constant daily anger, common on social media, isn't the mark of a mature perspective. A reasonable adult gets genuinely upset maybe once or twice a year. Cunningham has an edge reminiscent of agitators like Bill Laimbeer or Dennis Rodman. But the bigger issue is a lack of unity and leadership.
WNBA media, all we ever do is cover everything except basketball. And it's like, what are we doing? There's so much, you can talk about other things. I think those are great stories. I think it shows fans, who people are outside of the court. But I also think we got to keep the main thing. For me, I want to get back to basketball. It's always been about basketball. That interview happened in February when I was asked a question. And so for me, I just want to, make sure that it stays, the focus stays where it should, because people are playing at such a high.
Revenue is at record highs. There's a new labor agreement. Arenas have improved. Travel has upgraded. Ratings are climbing. And play quality keeps rising. Yet non-stop turmoil raises the question of whether people actually respect what they're watching, or just can't look away. In her own comments, Cunningham said WNBA media coverage focuses on everything except the sport itself. She acknowledged off-court stories have value, they humanize players, but stressed basketball needs to remain the priority, especially given how many elite performers are active right now, including multiple MVP-caliber players on her own roster.
Stays where it should, because people are playing at such a high level. We have probably 3 MVPs that could be MVPs on our team specifically.
If you go to YouTube, if you watch a YouTube from last night of the WNBA and compare it to 10 years ago, the quality of play it's so much faster. The ball handling's better. The passing's better. The league is so much, it's bigger, stronger, up-tempo, more shooting range. But I mean, it's a reality show. And at some point,
Game footage comparisons confirm the product has improved dramatically in speed, ball handling, and athleticism over the past decade. Still, the theory persists that this is a small operation that exploded in popularity without building matching infrastructure, understaffed and reactive rather than prepared, similar to how the Dodgers ownership immediately expanded staff and analytics after buying the Lakers. Staying informed and adaptable matters, because circumstances shift quickly, much like how baseball once viewed strikeouts as the worst outcome, and now prioritizes avoiding weak ground balls. or how basketball shifted toward three-pointers over long twos. College football has undergone a similar shift.
It's a reality show. And at some point, I still argue, this is my contention has been, they're like this small company that exploded in popularity and revenue, and they just don't have the infrastructure to handle it. It's just, they're just bailing water. They've never really been covered, and now everybody's covering them every day, and they just don't know what to do. They don't have enough hands on deck. It's like when the Dodgers bought the Lakers, first thing they did, expand the analytic department, expand the executive suite. They just need more hands on deck because they are...
For 2 decades, the SEC produced faster, stronger rosters than anyone. Then NIL money changed recruiting, and last season the Big Ten sent more players into the draft's first round than the SEC for the first time in years. Next year's class leans heavily, Big Ten, Notre Dame, and Miami. Financially, it's become a straightforward bidding war. Modest handouts have become multi-million-dollar deals.
Just need more hands on deck because they are, it is, I mean, it is, I've never seen a more volatile league in PR. Like owners yelling at fans, like, what are we doing here? We talk about often first impressions and how powerful they are, right? So that's why you got to keep reading and be curious and take information in. Stuff changes. And, you know, the NBA, baseball, analytics, I mean, it used to be the strikeout was bad. Now it's the ground ball is death.
Over the past 2 seasons, the Big Ten posted a 20-9 bowl record versus the SEC's 10-15 and a 9-3 playoff mark versus the SEC's 3-6, with most SEC playoff wins coming against other SEC teams. SEC coaches' rhetoric reflects this. Claims of being the undisputed best have given way to claims about tougher bottom-tier teams, an argument nobody actually cares about at the top of the sport. A recent Sports Illustrated ranking listed Georgia, Alabama, and Clemson as overrated, and Indiana, Miami, and Michigan as underrated. Urban Meyer noted he began seeing this shift once Michigan won consecutive titles, with Big Ten stadiums and rosters now resembling the SEC's in ways they didn't when he arrived in 2012.
Baseball, analytics, I mean, it used to be the strikeout was bad. Now it's the ground ball is death. Everything is, you know, you want the ball in the air or strike out. Strikeouts are fine, but you got to get the ball in the air. Basketball, 3/2s. And like the Lakers for years didn't buy into it, and it hurt them. Like you got to read, you got to be up on the data. And for 20 years, if you watch college football, there was no dispute. The SEC had more NFL bodies, their defenses were faster and stronger, and their
boosters have scaled up too. A top SEC booster might be a wealthy car dealer, while a top Big Ten booster might be an actual automaker, with sums that used to matter now essentially multiplied by 25. Meanwhile, the Dodgers' 6-game losing streak revealed they're not a guaranteed champion, but also that they try harder than anyone to become one. Despite a rough stretch marked by a high ERA and homers allowed, they still acquired ace Tarek Skubal at the deadline, while a titleless, deeply talented Milwaukee Brewers team made only modest bullpen upgrades, and the Yankees, despite ample resources, didn't address their bullpen at all. Skubal, who reportedly wanted to join the Dodgers, represents exactly the kind of dominant pitching that has historically beaten LA. Teams like the aging Dodgers lineup are vulnerable to strong starters who limit bullpen exposure.
See Caitlin Clark with another 20-point double-double, doing it as only the GOAT could. We got to get into it. Indiana Fever higher-ups, Kelly Crosscar came and spoke about Stephanie White. We got so much to get into. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit the bell notification, hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Shout out to everybody that joined me for the live stream. We had a freaking ball watching. Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell put on an absolute clinic versus the New York Liberty. Now,
regarding Shohei Ohtani's contract, his camp offered every team a deferred payment structure. Only the Dodgers accepted it, despite other high-revenue teams having the same opportunity, a bet that paid off, given how much revenue Ohtani generates through attendance and merchandise. On the football side, Buffalo's search reportedly involved including Josh Allen in 9 coaching interviews after the previous staff never built real rapport with him. Allen, known for his easygoing, low-maintenance personality, shaped by his humble background as a farmer's son from California, was given a voice in the process, rather than simply hiring his close friend Brian DeBall. The new staff reportedly plans to challenge Allen more directly in practice, using disguised defensive looks to sharpen him after a decade facing a fairly static system.
I already have a video up reacting to Stephanie White's pregame speech over on Keep the Vision Reacted. Make sure you're subscribed over there. That content is already out. We rocking and rolling. Caitlin Clark put belt to ass versus Sabrina Ionescu and the New York Liberty. Talk about it. Talk about it. Come on, man. Mitchell and Clark can't be stopped. The Fever scored 29 points off of Caitlin Clark's passes on Tuesday night, with 20 of those.
Green Bay draws mixed outlook. Praise for Coach Matt LaFleur's stable, drama-free front office, but real concern about finishing behind divisional rivals Chicago, Minnesota, and Detroit without Micah Parsons, who isn't expected back until October. Criticism of LaFleur last season was seen as justified, given NFL history shows coaches who haven't won a title by year 9 rarely do, with rare exceptions like Bill Cowher and Tom Landry. Green Bay looked mentally fragile in several losses, blowing large leads repeatedly and showing a lack of toughness, including not responding when Jordan Love was hit in the head against Denver. Still, general manager Brian Gutekunst gets credit for drafting tougher players recently, and building a genuine killer instinct now falls on LaFleur's leadership this season.
He stopped. The Fever scored 29 points off of Caitlin Clark's passes on Tuesday night, with 20 of those points coming from Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. Caitlin Clark, 22 points, 10 assists. Kelsey Mitchell, 23 points, 28 points, and 3 assists. They combined for nearly 50 in the first half. Like, these two alone. Caitlin Clark only scored 4 in the second half. She didn't need to. She didn't need to score. They destroyed the New York Liberty in one half. Literally one half.
Elsewhere, Aaron Rodgers has undergone major personal changes: marriage, family reconciliation, and reuniting with former coach Mike McCarthy, while also making pointed public comments about government and media institutions. The Rams held a workout, technically labeled a tryout for transaction purposes, involving Aaron Donald, who wanted to train in pads. Coach Sean McVay expressed confidence Donald could make the roster despite an already stacked defensive line. Questions remain about how gradually to reintegrate a 35-year-old after 3 years away, though Donald has reportedly maintained elite conditioning throughout his absence, unlike most retired linemen.
The New York Liberty in one half. Literally one half. They beat the brakes off the New York Liberty. Caitlin Clark, 7 of 15, 22 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds. Shot 50% from the three-point line. Just doing what she got to do. Kelsey Mitchell is just blazing hot. Nobody can stop this girl right now. Nobody can stop her. 28 points on 11 of 16, 4 of 4 from the three-point line. She wasn't going dribbling all over the place. She played off ball.
Patrick Mahomes, who tore his ACL on December 14th, has been active since off-season workouts began, and teammates say he looks unchanged. Some skepticism surrounds the decision to move on from cornerback Trent McDuffie, likely driven by aging, expensive veteran contracts. Kansas City's roster is viewed as less competitive than top contenders like the Rams, Seahawks, Eagles, and Lions, resembling a wildcard team more than a true contender. Still, Mahomes has historically recovered from injuries quickly, and, as a disciplined family man, he's expected to be highly motivated.
She wasn't going dribbling all over the place. She played off ball. She played 3 dribbles or less. She went and got it on her own when we needed her to. She played in transition. She played her role as that pure scorer off the ball, playing off of Caitlin Clark. The Splash Sisters are back. The Splash Sisters is back, baby. Yes, they are. Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark single-handedly beat the dog crap out of the New York Liberty today. And you know who else needs a big round of applause? Michaela Timpson.
The schedule appears deliberately front-loaded with easier opponents, possibly due to uncertainty about his recovery timeline. Micah Parsons, also recovering from an ACL tear suffered last season, described the injury as resulting from cumulative physical strain and lack of an off-season program. He isn't expected to play in September. Dallas appears to have won the trade that sent him to Green Bay, given financial constraints tied to other core players.
Needs a big round of applause. Michaela Timpson. Michaela Timpson, in her second start, took on a first-team All-WNBA superstar, Breanna Stewart. And what did Michaela Timpson do? She held Breanna Stewart to 8 of 21 for 19 points. I told you the key was keeping Breanna Stewart off the free throw line, and that is exactly what Michaela Timpson did. Straight up defense, locking it down. Just 2 free throw attempts for Breanna Stewart. Michaela Timpson was all over her ass on the defensive end. Michaela Timpson.
Green Bay's aggressive move for Parsons is defended as a rare bold swing for a conservative franchise, though the wear of playing through injuries without proper conditioning has become a recurring concern. Elsewhere in the NFC, Chicago's improvement under first-year coach Ben Johnson was dramatic and immediate. Arizona's Kyler Murray should be a major upgrade over Minnesota's chaotic quarterback situation last year, and Detroit's newly hired offensive coordinator earns praise for prior scoring success with limited talent. There's now a real argument that the NFC North, not the AFC's Chiefs-Chargers-Broncos grouping, is the league's toughest division, though Green Bay risks finishing 4th in it without key defensive pieces. Finally, last season's Bears-Packers rivalry stood out as a highlight. After years of Rodgers dominating that matchup, Chicago finally beat him, and those 3 meetings, including a playoff game, delivered some of the best competitive football all year.
Breanna Stewart, Michaela Timpson was all over her ass on the defensive end. Michaela Timpson, you did your thing defensively. Just 3 points, but you had 7 rebounds, and you played lockdown defense. Lockdown defense. You was giving Breanna Stewart fits all night. Sophie Cunningham, the blonde bomber, I said what I said, came off the bench and did what she needed to do. Then, mind you, the Indiana Fever did all of this in spite bonehead Stephanie White. We got to get to her still. Kelly Crosskoff coming in and speaking on this whole thing. Sophie Cunningham off.
There's hope Green Bay stays competitive enough to keep that rivalry meaningful again this season. Nobody could stop her tonight. Nobody could even touch her.
Stephanie White. We got to get to her still. Kelly Crosskoff coming in and speaking on this whole thing. Sophie Cunningham off the bench, 4 or 5 from the 3. Okay, 12 points off the bench. Monique Billings came in and gave you 14 points off the bench. Aaliyah Boston gave you 19 and 7. She can't make layups anymore, but damn it, she can make threes. Man, I've come to the realization, I don't know if Aaliyah Boston's hurt. Shout out to the chat. Everybody's telling me she's dragging her legs. She keeps coming out. I don't know. All I know is Aaliyah Boston is not a great finisher at the rim anymore at this.
Caitlin Clark was in full attack mode, and the whole squad showed up looking sharp and locked in, ready for business against the New York Liberty. There was drama swirling before tip-off, with head coach Stephanie White catching heat during her pregame comments, DJ Jane Carrington shouting about privilege, and a bunch of people online throwing around accusations. But none of that noise touched Clark.